All right, how we doing? I'm Andy Malfrey, and this is DTLR, the reaction and review channel of the Drag the Lake universe. Come over here to watch full video reactions and reviews and whatnot. If you want to watch the podcast and listen to album reviews, link for that down below. Also twitch.tv/Andy Malfrina. You could have hung out with me Friday, where I listened to a lot of this music ahead of time, figuring out what I wanted to talk about. And of course, if you paid any attention to Drag the Lake in any capacity, you know we've been the top guys on the case. Whenever if Tilian breathed the wrong way, we're reporting on it. We're talking about it. Now it's just there's just I try not to make the podcast all drama, but there's certain things that they just happen. This is the lane we're in, and it's hard not to talk about. So yeah, Tilian and his hijinks. Tilian and his hijinks were a lot to take in. We all saw it. He got kicked out of Dance Gavin Dance. They did the whole. That was a very interesting thing. That happened because he got kicked out of, like, the way I've never seen a band kick someone out like that, where they're like, oh, it was so funny too. So I mean, not funny, but if you look at it from a distance and take out human emotions, it was very funny, because it was like Reddit was like, this girl goes, hey, Tilian was very pushy when we had sex. I didn't feel comfortable. And then it went around the internet, and then Dance Gavin Dance was like, we hear you, we heard everything you said, and Tilian is gonna go to rehab for alcohol. And you're like, hey, we don't care about that part. We don't give a shit about that part. Be drunk. Who cares? It's just, it was the being forceful and pushy, to put it lightly, during sex that was like, yo, what's that about, dude? I get it. You lost your friend. That sucks ass. But, be a better listener. I'll say that much. But either way, and then, he was like, I went to rehab. And then there was like pictures of him just still at shows and stuff, but he just wasn't performing. And then they got Andy in the mix. And then Tilian went on tour with them one last time. And then they just, a couple months later, they were like, all right, later, bozo. I don't know it was hard to tell what it was. It's hard to tell what the energy was. But, Tilian has, a lot of times in these situations, I think it happened to the bassist of Day to Remember, who he actually was adamantly like, yo, I didn't do that shit. But he kind of just like went away from what I could tell. I think he's focusing on a legal case and shit. But I think, a lot of times in these situations, dudes just kind of like go away. But this time, Tilian, he was like, nah, dude, I'm going to be back. And I got to be honest, like, I'm kind of mixed about Tilian. Like, I'm more inclined to think like, it's hard to tell in these situations. He said, she said shit. People got to respect that. Because there'll be, like, there's been a lot of times where it'll be these, like, he said, she said situations. And it'll be, like, a lady who will go, this happened. And then everyone will be like, wow, that happened. And it'll be like, what's your evidence? And she's like, I have no evidence. I'm just giving you my story. And everyone's like, wow, that's crazy all that happened. And then the guy will come out, and the guy will go, like, that didn't happen. And they'll be like, what's your evidence? And he'd be like, I mean, I don't really have any evidence that it didn't happen. Everyone's like, wow, it's crazy you would call this girl with no evidence a liar. And it's like, I'm not trying to come at ladies or whatever, because like I was saying on the podcast before, when I was reading the ladies' recounting of the situation, I was like, this all feels fairly believable. You know what I mean? It's hard to tell what's exact fact and not, but this all feels fairly believable. But in a lot of those scenarios, people will just sort of like blindly, there will be times where like people will blindly believe the lady who has no evidence, and then the dude will come out and give his side of the story. He'll also have no evidence, and it's like, if we're being fair, you got to go back to square one. Because she said, yeah, huh? And he said, nuh-uh. And it's like both of you have zero evidence. So we're back to square one. I think that's why it's like, it kind of sucks. I understand when victims don't want to be like outed and stuff, but kind of sucks if you want to like sort of fight the good. You want to fight the good fight, get shit like this to not happen anymore. You kind of got to put yourself in the line of fire, and that's not fair. It's not fair, but it's kind of what needs to be done. So I appreciate when people come, in situation, because it's like, I always say when it comes to like people getting canceled and stuff like that, or just artists being bad people, I say the general rule on that, it's like songs didn't do anything to anyone. You can still listen to the music. You know what I mean? You don't have to think someone's a good person to like listen to their music and shit like that. But for me personally, there is like, if you were like a fan of an artist and they were like a real bad dude, it'd be harder for me to listen to him too regularly. Maybe the occasional put on here, but maybe the occasional play, but with too much long extended play, it's just harder. So that's why I'm always grateful people come out, give clear testimony or whatever the fuck. Shout out to them. Shout out to them giving testimony. Really helps me out as a fan and a consumer. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's check out this song and sort of see where Tilian's at with his shit. I hate that part right where his voice. This song's okay. It's like, I'm gonna let the rest of it play before I give like a deeper analysis. But this song's fine. But that right, I respect anyone that can get super high with their vocal range and shit. But like that right there is fucking weird, and I don't love it. right, there we go. Yeah, so that's what's it called? Angel. So let me make it clear. I really like a lot of his solo shit. Like whatever his last album was, he had his last, let me pull it up real quick. But yeah, on his last album before he went, oops, someone needs to eat something today. Oh yeah, Factory Reset. I remember listening to Factory Reset. Had that song Anthem. It had some other good shit on here. That was a really good album. That was a really fun one to listen to. And then I was checking out some of his older shit. He had that one song, Cocky. That was off of Skeptic. He's had a bunch of music. I've really fucking enjoyed. So this is coming from a dude who's like a fan of his music. This just felt very bland, and it felt like it didn't really pair up real well with his skills. Because I always think Tilian he should present himself almost like an emo Justin Timberlake, do a lot more dancey, and do a lot more dancey music. And it's like, when you're like Justin Timberlake, he has a whole. It's, he's like mainly R&B and shit like that, but, he still sort of hits a wide spectrum of music at the end of the day. He'll have his ballads, he'll have his rock songs, he mainly sticks to R&B, but he does the other stuff. So it's not, this is going to happen with a dude like this, but, for my personal taste and for what I think he excels at in his music, just stick to the more... just stick to the more poppy, dancey stuff. Like I know that song Cocky is like with a live band, and it's very dancey and stuff. And then the song Anthem, it's also dancey, but it's with an electronic band. But it all just feels like a little Warped Tour-y, little emo-y, little pop punky and emo-y and shit like that. So I think it would probably do, because this kind of sits in this weird like butt rock spectrum, and it's not bad. There's worse music than this, but just for how Tilian's voice is and how he sings and stuff like that, I think it would benefit him heavily going back to, like the more electronic poppy angle than, this necessarily. I'm still interested to see the rest of what he puts out. I'm sure he's not going to put out all stinkers. Not that this... I don't know. It's a little bit of a stinker. It's not my favorite shit. It just bummed me out because he's put out such good music in the past. But yeah, I'm still looking to check out the rest of what he's got coming. All right. Thanks for watching. I love you. Be about it. Peace.